We're at number 9 in the top 15 favorite Wrestlemania matches of all time. Well, here we go on this one. What possibly could be one of, if not the greatest triple threat match in the company's history. It was the main event of the 20th anniversary of WrestleMania. It was Triple H defending the World Heavyweight Championship against his former best friend and arch nemesis, Shawn Michaels, and the 2004 Royal Rumble winner, that being Chris Benoit. And before anybody says it, yes, look, we all know what happened with the whole Benoit situation. It's horrible, it's disturbing, it's depressing. I'm not here to talk about what happened outside. I'm here to talk about this match, and this quite possibly being one of Benoit's best matches. In fact, one of all these guys' best matches. You know, this was one of their Triple H's best matches, Shawn Michaels' best matches, and Benoit's best matches. This build had been the Shawn and Triple H feud happened way back in 2002. They had that awesome unsanctioned match at SummerSlam. Then they had that Elimination Chamber match at Survivor Series. Where Shawn won the world title. He immediately dropped it back to Triple H at Armageddon at 3 Stages of Hell. They kind of cooled off there. Then began in 2004. They had that last man standing match, which ended a draw at the Royal Rumble. Now, a year before this pay-per-view at the Royal Rumble 2003, Chris Benoit wanted to be the best. He wanted to become world champion. And he had that fantastic WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble 2003 with Kurt Angle. He came out short, and the fans gave him a standing ovation for his performance. So in 2004, they decided to have Chris Benoit be the first man in and to go on and win the entire Rumble. He lasted till the very end by eliminating Big Show. And we were all thinking, well, he's probably going to challenge for a WWE Championship. That was his goal. So he was going to fight maybe Brock Lesnar or Eddie Guerrero. And so Benoit decided to go Raw. He decided to challenge Triple H for the world title. Shawn got involved, and they made it first time ever triple threat. Making this a triple threat was the best choice because it just made the match a lot better than it probably was. Not saying Triple H versus Benoit would be a bad match, but let's be honest. Adding Shawn Michaels really made it a lot better. Let's be honest. This match, which was great, you had the great storytelling, the great near falls, Shawn Michaels getting busted open. I mean, seriously, this guy must have been taking lessons from Ric Flair how to bleed. I mean, he looked like he got a shotgun to the head. The double suplex spot by Triple H and Shawn Michaels to Benoit through the announce table. Just near falls after near falls and countering and break up pins. It was just fun. I can't really describe the match. It was just a great match. And then the ending, though. Look back on it, it's very fucking sad. Shawn Michaels gets knocked off the apron. Benoit locks in the crossface onto Triple H. Triple H looks like he's about to tap. He's about to get to the rope. But Benoit kicks himself up. Right in the center of the ring. Gets pinned back in the crossface. Right in the center of the ring. And Triple H has no choice, but he has to tap. He taps out. A bloody Triple H taps out to Benoit. Confetti goes everywhere. Benoit is crying. He's holding the World Heavyweight Championship. And then we see Eddie Guerrero, the WWE Champion, come out. Hug his best friend. Tears in their eyes. And they're both holding championships. Their respective World Championships. In the main event WrestleMania with confetti going everywhere. Before there was guys like Punk and Bryan revolutionized how the small guy can be a main eventer and can be a big name. Benoit and Guerrero did it first. I mean, in WCW they were like the cruiserweight guys. They were like the mid-card guys. And then when it came into WWF, they were still those mid-card guys. And, they would win, like, the European Championship and tag team titles and the Intercontinental Championship, but they were never seen as more than that. But they gradually, the fans started gravitating towards it, especially Eddie Guerrero. I mean, that guy was just a great mouthpiece, and I think that was one of the reasons why I was always a bigger fan of Eddie Guerrero than I was Benoit. It's because Eddie Guerrero, he had just so much personality, he had a fun character, his like cheat steal gimmick. His in-ring skill was unbelievable during that time frame. It was still great. But he felt like a star, and not saying Benoit was a star, it's just, we gotta agree his mic skills was not the best. I mean, he can have a little bit of personality, but his personality was always just, I'm here to hurt you, cripple you. Nicknamed the Crippler, Chris Benoit. And both men hold on to their world titles, and, Benoit had a 4-month reign, which unfortunately his reign was not really that memorable. I know they had a triple threat rematch at Backlash, which Benoit retained. I think Benoit had a match with Kane. I think he had another match with Triple H. I think he lost that title to a young Randy Orton at SummerSlam that year. And the only problem with that was Randy Orton was just not ready. Randy Orton was in the company for a few years, but he was never ready to be World Heavyweight Champion. Clearly, WWE didn't see it that way because if you remember, his reign only lasted for a month. And then Benoit just kind of slowly transitioned back to like the mid-card scene, winning the United States Championship, and then went on to ECW. It was supposed to have a match with Punk until, well, you know what happened. But this match was great. It was a great story of two guys who hate each other that wanted to sell their rivalry WrestleMania, but then you got the third guy who was an underdog. He was the guy that nobody thought would be the world champion, somebody that would just be mid-card. That kind of sounds familiar? Two bigger names who don't like each other. And then you have the third guy being this like technical wizard and this underdog. That's WrestleMania 30. Batista and Randy Orton. Two of the biggest names. Hating each other. Four best friends, now they're enemies. And then you have the third guy, who's this underdog. That's basically what this match was. This was the pre-Daniel Bryan story. Except in my opinion, they told the Daniel Bryan story a lot better. Not saying this Benoit thing wasn't bad, but if you compare, the Daniel Bryan story was just more effective. It really was. But this match was great. It was a great way to end a WrestleMania 20, which I thought was good. Look, that WrestleMania had a lot of problems, yes, but it's still good. I mean, people still say WrestleMania 30 is one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, and I think WrestleMania 20 should be up on that list. I still don't understand why WrestleMania 30 is still all that great. I really don't understand. I get the whole happiness of the Daniel Bryan situation, I get that whole story, but really, what else was there? But this match was great, and made Benoit win the world title. And I said, even though he never got to that big scene again, he was still utilized, very well. He still had some great kick-ass matches. He was a really good United States champion from, I remember he had those great best of the 5 series with Booker T later on, which I thought those matches were a lot of fun. That was the rise of King Booker, which is always my favorite version of Booker T, or at least one of them. So again, this match was just great. It made star of Benoit. Again, adding Triple H and Shawn Michaels to the mix just made the match even a lot more better than it needed to be. Despite everything that happened after the whole Benoit stuff. It's just this ending was just a nice emotional moment. And again, when you watch it, you realize both Eddie and Benoit are unfortunately dead. It's sad. If you don't feel some sort of emotion, you're not human. And it sucks that we lost 2 of the best wrestlers of that generation. And again, I think it hurts with Benoit a little bit more because of what he did. When Eddie Guerrero died, he at least kept his legacy. People still talk about him. But with Benoit, we can never mention him again. WWE will never put this guy in the Hall of Fame. And it sucks. In fact, I think they just did that documentary on Benoit, which I have not watched, but everyone has told me it's a must-watch, but it's also very depressing and sad. But I don't want to talk about what happened with Benoit. I want to talk about this match, and this match was just great. In my opinion, one of the greatest, not just one of the best Mania matches of all time, but quite possibly the greatest triple threat match, if not one of. It's up there. If this match is not on your list of greatest triple threat matches, your list doesn't even matter. It doesn't. Just an awesome match and a very emotional match.